Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well tonight. I'm just checking in to make sure that we are live, we are direct for everyone that is coming in. Sometimes there's a little delay between the actual system in the back office of going live and actually what y'all get the live stream. So I just want to make sure that everything is up and running. We are good. So, how are you guys tonight? Please let me know where you checking in from. And Diamond will be joining us a little bit later tonight. So, thank you for Stephen from Ohio. And if you guys watch this replay, make sure that you just drop in the comments where you are coming from. Tonight, we're going to talk about how to fix your credit score if your credit score is not increasing. So, if you find that you've been having issues increasing your credit score and you don't can't seem to figure out what's going on, I'm doing everything that I can. I want to touch on some areas and what you need to look for to fix that problem. So there are some areas that you need to look at. And I'm going to start off with the first area that you need to look at. And number one, you guys, the first area, and you'll be surprised. This is something that you may not have never really, thought about, but you need to look at, do you have the proper relationships and partnerships? And I want you to really sit and think on that. A lot of times when it comes down to credit, something has happened. You either did not have enough cash flow, or sometimes you just don't know what to do with credit. You were never taught. All of that is the root cause. Because if you get into a financial situation and you get sick, if you and your spouse don't have enough cash flow, do you have places where you can go to borrow the money before that situation get out of hand? Or if you're single, did your parents, do you have elders or people that actually taught you about credit? Did you have those right partnerships to pull you out of that situation or give you guidance beforehand? We actually today, I had someone, Miss Wilson, signed up in December, and what she did is gave us a testimonial today coming into the group saying that her score went up close to like 30 points on average. And now she's up in the 700 credit scores. And she signed up December 14th. And that was to the elite credit system. If y'all remember, in January, we just rolled out our credit kickoff. So for her, it hasn't even really reached a full 2 months. And now she's up in the 700 credit scores that quick because she partnered up with someone that can give her the information, look at her situation, and she aligned herself with a right partnership. A lot of people, and you keep hearing me saying this, y'all stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. This her scenario going to be everybody's scenario across the board? No. But if you got a credit issue, I'm going to tell you, it is the lack of right connections and partnerships. I'm telling you right now, guaranteed, pretty much, if all of the people in your circle that you know have bad credit, you're most likely going to have bad credit because who you're sitting around is not talking about credit situations a lot of times on how to keep consistent cash flows. They're not having those conversations. And if you don't have that in your family, you have to go and seek that out. You need those partnerships coming up. I'll tell you from my experience, if a lot of y'all don't know, um, with Diamond coming in, and I was a single mom, so it wasn't that I started off and she's coming to the stage. Um, I started off as being a single mother. Okay. So my mom, when I was 17 years old, I was able to buy my first house at 21. When Diamond was young, I wanted to make sure I get a house. My mother at 17 added me on as an authorized user on her credit card. She had a Sears credit card. One day I came in the kitchen and she said, "I'm going to add you on to my credit card." And I'm like, okay, I'm getting a credit card. You're going to give me, because I'm young. You going to give me a credit card? She said, "No, I'm going to make you an authorized user and I'm going to hold the card. But this is going to help you build your credit." Now, when I went for that home, guess what? I had good credit because my mom actually made a relationship for me with the bank. So I was able to get my first home. And but unbeknownst to me, when I started looking, she kept me on as an authorized user. And so that is a type of partnership that was made for me, that connection for me. And other things my parents taught me, but I never forget. At that time, I didn't have an understanding. Are you making those partnerships even with your own children? As you start building your credit, are you aligning to pull your children along so they can have a better life? As you're educating yourself right now, y'all should be connecting your children with these lives, because do you know, by making right partnerships, maybe you don't. I know I deal with a lot of people. They say, unfortunately in my family it wasn't that way, and I'm pulling it along because I was, a single mom. This is why, if you see Diamond working with me, and Diamond, I'm going to bring her to the stage, she'll tell you every scatterbrain idea she had to work in. Okay. So because you don't have that partnerships and those support, those relationships, you need to go and find those relationships so you can get the knowledge and you can get the understanding, and you need to pass it on to your kids. There's no way. My youngest daughter, Faith, Diamond could tell you, Faith never had a bad credit score. She started off with a 755 credit score. I did the same thing to Diamond. And Diamond to tell you right now, and I want you to make up for this, because a lot of people don't understand your credit really have to do with some mindsets that you have to deal with. It's just like when you're dealing with the scale. A lot of people demonize that scale, but because of the culture they come out of, even like with weight, me being an African American, my parents are from the South, they'll tell you, "Girl, you fat and fine." Okay. And that meant because they came from, farming. A lot of people was sharecroppers. So in their mind, if you had some weight on you, you're doing good in life. But it's not necessarily true today in this time, because our foods are packed. But their mindset, so many people were just really didn't have, or, depending on being a sharecropper, if it's summer, you might have food, but in the winter, you might not have as much. That person that can maintain a robust weight was doing well, but that doesn't line up with health. And that scale, people will say, the scale is picking up. Hey, you're overweight, but you might say, "I'm big boned." And that is not necessarily true. You're picking that out of a culture that you came from. So if you're not connecting, if you unfortunately don't have those good standings and good thoughts that was instilled to you, you need to go out and you need to constantly create that for yourself. And then you want to pass it on to your kids. Don't think that your kids shouldn't be learning this. You can pull yourself out of a bad situation by developing your kids' credit now. So here's the thing, your kids can be added on as an authorized user as young as 14 with many credit cards. So if this kid, you're struggling right now, you're building their credit score and you're trying to maintain that and you're getting knowledge. When they turn 18, now they can get a credit card and you can maybe hold it as the parent because you got more knowledge. Now they can add you on as an authorized user to that card. That improves both of y'all credit scores. And Diamond to tell you, Diamond, am I not on your credit card?
Yes, yes.
And this is how, Diamond, are we both not on my father's credit card?
Mm-hmm.
Mike, when we were doing the lives, he told you we do this all the time. If we're trying to build relationships with the bank and that other person have a relationship with the bank, add me onto that credit card.
Yes.
And Diamond, I want you to tell them, because this is about, like, yes, how to fix and increase your credit score. A lot of the root of it is not having the right relationships or knowing how to develop that as a whole, as a group, as a family. Tell them about the time when I and you hit me with about getting it out. Go ahead, I'll let you go.
Uh,
Say
something
it.
it's something I said. I mean, I was always raised in the suburbs, and so sometimes, and with certain people, they'll make fun of you when you're black. That, oh, you raised in the suburbs. And I was like, I never understood the notion of why people would say, I want my kids to struggle like me. And I'm like, aren't your parents supposed to give you more than what they had, and set you up to be in a place where you can have a better leg up in life? Like, aren't they supposed to make your life better? You know what I mean? And I hear a lot of people, especially in our community, that say, oh, well, I didn't have that, so my kids aren't going to have that, or I had to struggle and I had to work. But aren't we supposed to be putting our children in a better position than where we were in? I thought that was the premise of life, to do that, and that everyone isn't broke and everyone doesn't have to struggle, and we shouldn't strive to struggle. And so, was that what you were referring to?
And it was a time me and her was having a conversation, and I said this. I said, everybody would say, "Well, you were fortunate, you were this, and that," and I was like, "Yeah, people say that," and then and you was like, "Why would you be ashamed of that?" You was like, "Why do we have this mentality of always you got to get it out the mud?"
Yeah.
No, you don't have to get it out the mud. See, and I know some people feel different ways about him or not. Donald Trump ain't trying to let his get it out the mud, baby. His daddy did. And people make fun of people that are wealthy, and we need to kill that mindset. You have to stop thinking your kids or you need to get it out the mud. A lot of your politicians ain't trying. Biden wasn't making his kids get it out the mud, baby.
Mhm.
Hillary Clinton, they ain't trying to let Chelsea and that grandbaby get it out the mud. You need to leverage what you have, and your whole family need to come up together. Your whole circle. Let's kill that, y'all. Let's kill that mindset. Oh, well, you ain't get it on your own. Who gives a golly dolly darn? You
Mhm.
shouldn't get it by yourself.
Yeah.
The more that you work alone, the weaker you are. What is in Ecclesiastics? It says two is better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. And then
Mhm.
it goes down, be said, because if one is alone and they're cold, with a second one, two can warm themselves up.
Yep.
And then it goes on. If someone attacked them, one can be overtaken, but two can withstand. And a three cord is not easily broken. So you have to understand, stop thinking about getting it out the mud. I want you to right now, if you have credit, and that's why I said one way to fix your credit, number one, get in with wise counsel.
Mhm.
And even with our system, the elite credit system, getting with me is wise counsel. Why are you trying? A lot of people, I want to work it myself. You can work it yourself, but is that the most efficient way to do something? What you want to do, you want to actually get counsel, make the right connections to know what is wrong with your situation. And at that point, once you understand what is wrong and have a real understanding, not just knowledge alone, understanding. Knowledge is just knowing something about it. And when you look at the books of Proverbs, it talk about knowledge, understanding. Then that's wisdom. See, wisdom is the product of having knowledge to know about a thing, and understanding is how it works. Then it produces wisdom so you can make the right choices. So, what is going on in life, you guys, with your credit? You might be lacking either understanding or knowledge on a situation. So you don't you have something going on in both of these areas. You might know about credit to a certain extent, but you don't really have the understanding on how it works, the inner workings, 35%. And then you don't understand how to control your behavior in order not to come up. Let's use the scale. The scale is not lying on you about your weight. It is actually picking up something about your behavior of eating, and it's just giving you a number. So is the credit system. You can actually change your credit score at any time simply by changing your behavior. That's it. That's it. So you are not being told to and fro by the credit system, unlike some people tell you. Yes, is there some bias in it? Yeah, but there's something you can do about it. You can change your behavior so those things don't affect you. And so, one of your behaviors to make your credit score go up is making the right and proper connections. What either got you in this situation is one or two things: lack of education, just knowing and understanding about the credit system, where then you can make wise choices in your everyday behavior in life financially. Or the second part is, I have yet, out of all the years I talked to people, ever met a person that said, you know what? This morning I woke up and said, forget this. I'm just going to jack my credit up. Nobody does that. I haven't met one person that just said, I'm going to just let it burn down to hell. No, I never met that in my life, because what happens, something generally happen. That person lose a job, that person gets sick, that person, it's something. And this is why you want to get wise counsel on how to get multiple streams of income. You don't want just one stream of income. You cannot work forever. So if you're not leveraging your credit now by gaining wise counsel to know what to do, most likely, if you're in a financial tight, is one of those education things is the problem, or it's a cash flow problem. So you need to attain to wise counsel to get yourself to make that credit score to go up. You want to either create your own right relationships and connections, or you need to connect to the right relationships and connections. And you want to do both. Okay, you want to do both. And the reason why I say you want to do both, the creation part is you should be creating your children as that connection, even if you go out and attain those connections and that knowledge. Let's please, can we all say for 2025, please dump the get it out of the mud scenario. Please, let's just do that as people. When somebody shame you, oh, you ain't get it out the mud, and I shouldn't have. Okay? I
Mhm.
shouldn't have, because it was a song. How sweet and good for men to dwell in unity. You want to dwell in unity. You can get things done by unifying. Nobody, the civil rights movement was done by unification. You can get a lot of things done. You don't need a lot of people neither to get it done, but you want to bring unity. So start making those connections. That's going to get the knowledge for you and that education to bring that understanding and knowledge. And then it's going to be wisdom. You'll know how to make the right choices in the right situation when it comes to your credit. You'll know how to apply that to that situation. That's wisdom, right? About maybe I shouldn't buy this on my credit card. Hey, Sherry told me clean up my credit. Maybe now my credit is clean. Maybe I should get a business credit card now, so this doesn't show up, because now I have understanding about the situation. Now I actually know about credit and how it works. And so now I got the wisdom to make a better choice. Instead of getting all these personal credit cards and I got this stuff cleaned up, let me not just wait right now. Let me start working on business credit, so this doesn't show up on my personal credit score anymore. I got some information, I got some understanding. And I'm not saying don't surrender your will to nobody. In order to make those right connections, you do have to go and do some research yourself, so you know who's lying to you. Okay, you got to know a little something. Don't just be, hey, I believe whatever this person say. No, I'm not telling you that, because in order for you to make those right connections, you got to be able to discern if this connection is right or wrong. This is something I should connect to, and this is something I need to stay away from. I'm not saying you have to know it all, but you want to know enough to know if this person is lying to you. Okay, that's just in every situation. You want to know enough. If you're going to buy that car, is this dealer lying to me about financing? I need to know enough. Not that you got to know everything about the used car industry or the new car industry. You just know enough about that model, about your financing, and pick up about how dealerships work. Is this salesperson the right one I should make a deal with? Is this contract the right contract to make a deal with? And this is how a lot of times we get in these situations, because it's one thing that I can just tell you, do this, 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 and this, and your credit score go up. But what I was finding out with people, I would look and I would work with them one-on-one and tell them, oh, you do this, you do that, you do that, you do that. We got to know, oh, you got this issue and you got this account and this. But they'll go do it, but they never understood why they were doing it. They never got the understanding. So then they got the good credit score really quickly. I had so many people do that, maybe in 3 months, really quickly. Then the next year, I'm back down again, because they didn't have the understanding on why I was telling them to do what I told them to do. They didn't understand. They was just doing it without knowing why. And so then when they got on their own, they couldn't make the right choice. When they got in that situation, they didn't know. They just know they got there. It's like some of us, we all did the cabbage soup diets, lady. I know y'all, we all did it. And we didn't know why. We were eating cabbage soup, eating then that a half a piece of what is that? The rice cakes and a banana. You were really really cutting your calories to a certain extent, and we didn't know. You was just doing it, and you got a results of losing weight. But then when you go back to manage it on your own, we didn't have enough understanding to maintain that weight. And so you might be in a worse situation than what you were prior for when you go back to eating, because you didn't have the complete knowledge and understanding. Now, when you're out there, to have wise choices in order to do that. So, in order to fix your credit, number one, you want to make the right connections. Make the right connections. Be purposeful. If you're going on that credit journey, see if you can gather. Number one, your children is a must. Your children is a must, because you need to make the declaration, bad credit stops with me. You need to kill that generational curse. You do not want that to continue on in your family line. You do not want to leave here and can't leave here and worry about your grandchildren. I've seen so many people that just had to raise their kids and take on their grandkids. You're sick to death, you're worrying to death, your life getting cut short because that child now is not able to support that grandchild, and you just so worried about that grandchild, because with your children you can control the situation. With that grandchild, you can't control what that child is doing. So I see so many people worry. So, and then at that point, it's like, I can't, now this person is grown, I can't get them to listen. So if you can do it now while they're young, catch them even if they're a teenager, it's not too late. Start bringing them into this. If you can, your spouse, make good partnerships. Men and women, I do understand being married. Sometimes you might be the one with the knowledge. They might be the one that can work. You might have to take over that part. You might have to play that part, of managing the finances and come to that agreement. But you get the knowledge and let them know the ground rules. Like, hey, okay, I know you're working. You don't have time to do this. You're going to focus on the income, but you got to surrender those credit cards to me. You know what I'm saying? So I can start making these payments so we can get into a better situation. Or sometimes what I have seen working in that connection and partnership, you might think, I have seen this a lot. And it might help somebody. You might feel, because you got the lot of utilization and credit card debt, and you might be a couple and you be like, that person credit score is terrible. They never developed anything. And actually, baby, you need that loan. Y'all married. He might be the quickest way we can get to what we need to get to, because that person never got access to credit. So their little things, even though the score is low, it look bad, we can get there much faster by dealing with that person credit, because they didn't have access to credit cards. So they might have only a few collections or some that can be dealt with quickly. And we throw some trade lines or get something popping, and they might be the key to actually getting the loan so y'all can jointly, get out of the hole or pay for that situation. But that's a good partnership. That's that good connection. So he can get that credit card. We get him in that place. Now he adds you on as an authorized user, and that might relieve some of that credit card debt that you might have actually picked up for both of you, because y'all both are in a marriage, in a relationship. So you had to go out and get in some of these debts. Men, that go for y'all too, because sometimes women are the spenders, and you like, hey, I just can't. They're not good in this area, and I have took that on. And it could be the same way with them. They might be the key, So think about those partnerships. If you have a parent, maybe that parent can be the one. Maybe the parent can help you out and add you on. Just let them know, hey, if you add me on as an authorized user, you keep the card, just activate it. And that good connection and that partnership, all that good payment history, that backdated payment history from that parent, that's going to help you in that payment history. And that credit card can help your utilization. So make sure when you start, Go and get the wise counsel that you need by making good connections. You must start there and you must stay there. You must stay there. This is just not, okay, my credit is good. I'm out. I'm done. No, you got to continue to, even as economics change, you may have to change your approach to things that you're doing. You need to find different ways to bring in more income. Regardless, you want to work on a retirement plan and making income now. You can't work forever. So that's just something that's on the table anyway. If you're able to work now, you don't know what tomorrow might bring. You just never know. You never know where sickness. I have seen so many people, unfortunately, work all their life and get cancer, or you know uh, have type 2 diabetes, and something happened in their health. We can never call it. So why you have that, make your good connections, get some information that's right for you. Maybe whatever your skill is, that investment or creating that cash flow might not be the same as everybody across the board. I did real estate. Am I going to say real estate is good for everyone? No, you might not have the temperament for that, but you might be into software. That might be a way better play for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but just get something going so you're not totally depending on working. And so get with right connection. So that's where I want to start there and stay there constantly. The second thing y'all got to look at is look at your current your current negatives. Okay, so a lot of people ask this question because they don't know the difference. They don't have the connection, like I said earlier, of somebody to give them wise counsel. So they just know I got negative stuff on my credit report. They don't know why, and they might not know the difference. So most of the accounts that you're going to see that a lot of people have, it's a collection and charge offs. Sometimes people don't know how to determine one from the other. A collection, many times, is going to be a third party. So it might say, portfolio recovery services, and it might say for Verizon. And Verizon, that was that telephone bill or something that happened with your cell phone. So that being portfolio recovery services, on that most likely is going to be a collection, okay? Because you want to detect those things differently. A collection and a charge off is going to have your original creditor. So you might have had a credit card with Capital One, and what you see is Capital One, and you'll see charge off, because some systems that say charge off collections, but you'll know that is a charge off because it is a creditor there that you did business with. So it may have a balance, or it may say a zero balance, but it's still a negative. So that's how you know the two, and you want to approach them differently. So what I've been seeing with is a big issue. You're starting to see collections and charge offs hitting you with a late payment every single month. And I see that a lot, mostly with Experian. I see it a lot, that they're doing it a lot. And you may see a CO, that means collection. And every month, even though it's in charged off status, how are you hitting me late every month? So if it's charged off, you have no need to look for another payment to come from me, because you've written the account off. You're saying, by saying it's written off, it's uncollectible. That person is not going to pay me. So they cannot expect a payment due every month. That is over. It's in charged off status. So there is some debate whether they can do that. That has been debated in courts. And it's really like, that was the standing that the claim is you can't expect. So you want to dispute that, because your credit score cannot go up with something hitting you late every month. And that is why they do that. They know if it just get written off and it's sit, your score go up. I have seen people with 750 credit scores with a charge off, 750 credit scores with a collection. But the longer it sit, the less it affects your credit score. That's why they have it to hit you every month. Now, you do see collections doing that now too. That should absolutely not happen at all. I never did business with you. I don't have no contract. There is no way in God's green earth you can be expecting a payment because it's a collection account. There shouldn't be a monthly amount due, especially you just got to make sure you ain't get on that phone talking and making no deals. Okay, so y'all already know that. Hopefully, don't make no deal. Do not make no deal over the phone with them. That is fraudulent. They're trying to create a verbal contract because they know they are like at the weakest standpoint. Buying those contracts, you have to have agreed with the original creditor for the sale of that account. And so a lot of times they know they're at a weaker position. They know you never did business with them. So they're trying to get you to verbally create a contract over the phone. Now, if you said something like that, then you can tie yourself up. If you say, I agree to pay you $25 a month, then that can get that. It's kind of hard to move, and they record it and keep it for that reason. So please don't make any deals. But if you did not do that, they should not be hitting you every month. And that can be the core reason why your score is staying down. One of those reasons, because they're dinging you every single month with a late payment because they're trying to force you to pay them. So that's one of the reasons if your credit score is not going up. Now, the third one, you might have a situation, your other scores is going up fine. And you're like, but this particular score, it is so low. If you have a score that is extremely low compared to the other two, or you got two low, one high. And what I'm saying is, generally, you are not, I have never seen somebody have the same credit score across the board, 750, 750. You're going to have variations. You might have one 730, this one 740. You might have small variations, and your highest one might be 750. Like you might see a medial like 15, 20 points, difference. But if you're seeing like a 50 point, 80 point difference in your scores, then that means there's something reporting on that particular credit report that's not reporting on the other two, or vice versa. That's why. So if you're seeing a big gap, like 50 points and up, something is off. Or if it's one way low, you'll be like, dang, this one's 700. Why this one at 620? There is something there that's not reporting on the other two. Now, that something there could be certain collection company might only have just hit you with a collection on that one bureau. And that's why it could be various of things. What I've been seeing lately, student loans have been moved around, and because of Navient, and what they've been doing is removing on-time payments on some of these accounts. It's not reporting consistently across the board, which they should not do. So it's something throwing that other score off. So if you're seeing a big 50 point and up, something is not reporting right. Okay. So it's something, it might not be on the other two, and something is off with that one. So you want to go looking for that. Now, one of the things, just to give you a heads up too, you want to look at, if you got credit cards and you see like, nah, everything is reporting right, a little nugget, go look at your credit card limits on all of those, because I have seen that card might be reporting a limit over here that's higher. Say you got a $10,000 credit card, and that utilization makes a big difference on how much that credit line is reporting. Now, those two that are higher might be reporting at $10,000, but this one, if you look close, it might say that credit limit is 8,000. So that is throwing it off. And with my elite credit system, the AI software picks up errors. And so it'll show you little errors, things like that that's going on. So that's a way. But if you're looking for something that's off, look for those things. And that can be another big issue why your scores are not going up. Okay. So the fourth one, a big issue why your score is not going up, utilization. Okay. Let's deal with the utilization. Most likely, if you know you got high credit card debt and you're over 30%, once you get 30% overall utilization, most people know your score starts to go down. And the closer you creep up to being close to max out, the more your score is going to go down. Now, that's overall, but a lot of people don't know what could be going on. One particular card, you may have everything else clear, because I have seen this plenty of times. One credit card, I don't know why people do it, but they do it a lot. You might have had your little beginner $300 credit card, and you got all these big credit card lines, and you decide to throw something on that. And it's like, why did you do that? And the closer, and it's like, because my utilization is low. I have seen people, utilization was like 10% and they could not figure out. That's one of the things I'm going to go. Like, my utilization is low and my score is not going up. I just don't understand it, because what the system does, one particular card, that $300 credit line, say you threw something was $278, it is so close to being maxed out, it will tank your credit score. So even if one particular card starts to be going over 60%, that 50 to 60% and up, going up, even if your other card's clear, it start bringing down your score, because that card is creeping too close to being maxed out. And God forbid if you have that card maxed out. A lot of people will do that because they are not aware that that's going on. You just see your utilization overall is low. So that can be a big one. And another really another situation y'all need to know, it was a gentleman I sat with, had the same issue, and he could not figure out. He like, all my cards are low. Come to find out, I look at it. I said, this account right here is your problem. He did not know, which it almost happened to me. When you go to furniture stores nowadays, you guys, a lot of stuff that we used to, or they used to have as installment loans, especially back in the early 2000s, 2010s, it was an installment payment, almost like a car loan for furniture. Now they do it as a credit card. Okay, so y'all need to know that that was his problem. He just bought furniture. It was like a credit line of $5,000. And so he's thinking it's an installment loan. When I had got some furniture, I financed, I thought the same thing too. And the lady just said, yeah, you can get, this set is you got approved for $5,000. And then she was like, yeah, you can get that whole set that you wanted. And it was like that was before, pandemic and things popped up, but it was like 4,800. And I'm thinking it's going to be an installment loan. And she said something that caught my attention. She was like, yeah, she said a company. Now I know financing companies that might have not caught your attention. It was like Synchrony. And I said, hold on. Synchrony give out installment loans? And she said, no, this is a credit card. I said, You would have jacked my credit. I said my credit score would have dropped if I didn't know it was a credit card. Y'all got to be careful. That financing that you would think, payment, even if I see a lot of people that go, even with these healthcare programs like dentists, they'll have in house stuff. That stuff could be a credit card line, and you need to get work done. And you're thinking it's an installment loan, it's a credit card. So be careful on those. And that was his issue. And I had the money to pay cash for the car. I was like, I was just getting it because they said financing was 0%. So I was like, girl, I could have paid cash for this. It ain't that serious because this is going to take my credit score. Now, don't even demonize people because you know what? That finance department, they didn't even know that it worked like that. She's like, oh my God, I did not even know. I was educating her on how that stuff works. She didn't even know. So then she went through Wells Fargo, and they doubled the line. She had the line doubled. And so it was $8,000 so I could get what I needed without being over and maxing out that line. So if you recently got something and got dental work, that healthcare plan, and your score ton, and you're like, where the heck, what is going on? That can be your issue. That might be why your credit score is not going up. Okay. So look out for that. Now, number 6, same category of utilization. You want to make sure, you guys, people, you have a bunch of credit cards and you might throw something here and there. The system don't like you having balances on multiple credit cards. Try, if you can, to bring that down to 2 or 3, no more, if you can do it. Sometimes it is what it is, but you might need to do a little shifting of that because it starts to deduct points if you're carrying too many balances on all your credit lines, or too many credit lines is carrying balances, even small balances, even $20. They just don't like it. And if you have 3 credit cards, this one got $10,000 with a balance of, let's say, $8,000. This one have $10,000. It has a balance of $2,000. And say you got a third one, $10,000, and it has a balance of $1,500. Try to even this out across the board. So the one that is a $10,000 credit line with that $8,000, start to shift some of those balances over. You don't really want one particular card, if all possible. Break in that 30% if you can. Okay, just keep it there. I know once you go around 50%, it start dinging you. So if you need to even it out by shifting that, do that, and do not carry balances on all of your cards. Try not to do that. You might use that card to keep it active. I understand every 6 months, but what you can do to keep it active, maybe throw a Netflix account and just let the minimum payment pay it off in full every month, but you don't want to carry balances on all of those cards. Okay, no carryover balance. That will bring your credit score down or keep it the same, and you don't know why. And you're like, why did this happen? Or why is this happening to me? So number 7, same theme of utilization, because utilization be a big culprit. Paying your bills. When are you paying that credit card? And y'all probably heard me say it before. You have your due date, and what a lot of people don't understand, right after that due date, 4 to 5 days later is the report date on that card. So if you pay down, and it used to run that, you make that card payment on or before that due date, that balance will be there. Even if you catch it a little bit after, if you pay it after that due date, then you start to pay interest on the balance you carried over. So if you pay it on that due date, it used to be if you had a $4,000 balance and you pay $2,000 on that card, what would show up would be that $2,000 balance. That's how I used to. And once you make that payment, you can use that card immediately because I, made a payment and it will show up as a $2,000 balance. They are not doing it that way anymore. In that window of time, from that due date to that report date, which is 4 to 5 days, if you start using that card and say you added $1,000, I paid 2,000, then I added 1,000 on that card. I paid 2,000. The balance is 2,000 because we started at 4,000, paid 2, and then 2 days later I start using that card, throw $1,000 on there. When that report date come, you going to report as a $3,000 balance. Okay. They are now, and they've been doing that for a while. They're going to report what you put on there. They're not, they used to do that. They used to work like that. So that's why a lot of folks is confused. You're like, I paid that card down. And then you wonder why it never show up as being paid down. That's what they're doing. And some people, it's just like your payment, you can never catch that date. You could just never pay it on a due date. Life is life in, but you're paying your card. You just don't get it. I have people that's so frustrated, like, I pay this card every month. Why isn't this? Like, why isn't it my score going up? Because you might be missing the report date. Okay. So be aware of that. In the Elite Credit System, we do have a system using Smart Credit Score Boost, and they'll tell you that your day you need to pay this card down and the day it reports and updates. Now understand, this changes from month to month. Okay, it changes every month. Like we're in February. This is February could be 29 days and 28 days, but it's shorter than the rest of the month. So don't think that date is going to be consistent. It rotates depending on the month, because some months have 31 days, 30 days. And this month only have 28 days to 29 days. So it will change up. So make sure that you know those 2 dates, okay? And make sure that can be it. Because if you miss that report date, that balance is stuck for the next 30 days. That's it. Ain't nothing you could do except move on to the next card, if possibly that date, for you to have that opportunity to see your score go up. So that can be a real frustration for people, and they just don't know why. Like, I be paying on this card. So that's another thing. So number 8, dealing with the balances in your credit cards. Another big thing people don't understand. I've been paying on this card. I paid a minimum balance. I never missed a payment. But are you paying just the minimum balance and not tapping in to paying the interest? So credit cards, the way they work, when you carry over that balance, long as you pay that card up, any charges before that due date, you get a grace period with no interest. But after that due date, that balance that you're carrying starts to actually accrue interest. And it's a compounding interest that you're being charged daily on the overall balance. So if you're just making the minimum every month, that new balance roll over with more interest. So it keeps going up and up, even though you're paying the minimum. And that makes a lot of people frustrated, or they just don't understand. It's the average daily balance. Now you can stop some of this just to keep it simple. If you want to make payments on it every week, if you get paid every week, to throw something on that card, then you'll bring down the daily balance. So let's say right now you let your credit cards, it's $10,000 of a balance. Interest is interesting on you. Okay. It's just going ham on you. If you want to try to slow that down, what you do each week, start throwing something on that card, because every day at that point, it might be charging you $50 a day. But if you now this week throw some money on there, on the next 2 weeks, throw a chunk of money on there, your average daily balance goes down because it's the average daily balance. Since you made a payment on it in the half of month, now the rest of the month, that balance is not the same. So maybe now instead of $50 a day, you might be being charged for interest $30. And if you do that, you might slow it down or really bring it down. But you want to try to make those payments so you don't have all this interest rocking you out and you're frustrated on why my score is not moving, because the interest is just still going up on you, even though you're making the minimum pay. That's what a lot of people don't understand. You want to bring down those balances. Okay. So, because it charge you interest daily. So that's the other thing. And now the last thing that I want to include is hard inquiries. A lot of people don't know hard inquiries can be the silent killer of your credit score not going up. A lot of people, they're keep applying for credit, and it's costing you 3 to 5 points for a hard inquiry. So you might not know. You like, I'm looking for something. This month I applied here, made some applications, got denied. Next month I still in need. I really need this loan. I really need this. So you're trying again, but I'm making payments on my credit card. I'm this, but you're losing points because you keep pulling. So there was a joke with the head, that the child that was just a whole head, and he went rolling down the street, rolling, and then end up getting hit by a car because he wanted to go outside without any legs and just rolled. And the moral of the story was like, you need to stop while you're ahead. You need to stop while you're ahead. Please, if you keep getting denied, stop. When you find yourself in a ditch, they say stop digging. You are not improving your situation by keep applying. Slow it down. Find out, why am I getting it denied? There's something there. Don't throw those denial letters in the garbage. Read them. They're telling you why they're denying you. And then try to fix it. Try to fix it. Don't just keep going around and thinking, well, maybe this guy, or you need to slow it down. And before you keep applying, do a little research. Who will most likely approve me with my current credit score? But sometimes people in a desperate situation, I'm going to throw crap on the wall and see what sticks. Okay. And it's like, it is not giving. So what you want to do is, like I said, make those connections earlier, or at least do some work, start gleaning information, connecting with people that know about that situation that can help you and lead you maybe to somebody that will accept your credit score where it is. There are lenders, and some of that people have to embrace. If you have a bad credit score, you're going to be charged higher interest, and it might not be for the amount that you want. That's just where you are in your situation. And if you don't like that, maybe the best option is to, let's see what we can do in a month. And maybe I can improve my situation by doing a couple of things to get my score up. Now that can save me on interest, and maybe I can get a little larger loan because now my credit score is not where it is, lower. So let's make some improvements. So you just then at that point need to go with the right person, okay? Or go with the right bank, and that will deal with your situation with underwriting. Because some of them, like let's say Chase, you might have an 850 credit score, but if you don't fit in the 524 rule, meaning if you got more than 5 new accounts within 2 years or 24 months. That's credit card accounts. If you got too many, 5 new ones, they don't care how good your credit score is, they're going to deny you. Okay. It's just a no. All right. So if that is you and you still got that 850 credit score, you have no business flip flopping over to Chase unless you got a LLC and you're trying to get business credit. You're going to go for the business credit card. In that case, the rules stand, they don't look at you. Okay. So most of the time, if you're not connected with a person like me that sit around and figure all this stuff out, or somebody else that knows that, because some people, that's another thing, y'all. Mhm. Some people talk about disputing. Okay. That is different. That is different. Disputing and getting lending, or credit repair agencies, and actually equaling a higher credit score is two different things. I do want to bring knowledge to that. That's why you need a custom plan according to your situation. Do you know you can remove some stuff off of your credit score and it be collections and your score go down and not up? Because if you're a person that don't have any other credit history and you're not adding things positive, that was the only history you had. And a lot of people will tell you bad credit is equal to having no credit. So you might it have people that removed it and like, I thought my score was going to go up. The opposite happened because you messed up payment history. I mean, yeah, like an account that was there with age of credit and this, believe it or not. And a lot of times what happens is, I keep telling y'all, people look at payment history. Yes, it's 35%, the largest percent of your credit score, but they lack to look at utilization, debt to available credit. And so many people, get in financial strain and everything gets shot, everything going collection status, and they don't have any open credit cards, nothing. And so they can remove items, but their scores still remain low because you want to do both. You want to dispute at the same time. You want to get lines of credit. And you might say, how the heck am I going to do that when I can't get approved for nothing? You just got to look at a lot of times what's reporting on your credit report. And a lot of times there are banking institutions that do cater to you, okay, that do higher interest. It might be some things, that you might not like. Let's get it together. But sometimes we got to embrace, as Jay-Z said, if nothing else, you got to keep it real with yourself, okay? If nothing else, if I know my credit score is at a certain place, I've been there. Don't think I'm telling you like I didn't. Baby, if your stuff is below a 650, you got no business going on over there to Chase or American Express at this moment in time. We need to ease up off of them. You ain't going over to Chase if you got a collection. They don't care if it says 725. You ain't got no business until we clear this up. Now, is it folks that we can go see? Yeah, it's some folks you can go see. Okay, Apple may be happy to have you, okay, with a 600 credit score, but you ought not be over there in Chase Yard. You know how your mama was saying back in the day? You could go to that person's house and that person's house, but don't let me see you over there in them people's yard. Do not go into Chase Yard. Don't go up over there. So that's me. I give you that direction. I'll tell you, you could go to their house, but don't let me catch you over there at that house. Okay, don't go over there in that yard. Chase Yard, you can't play with them folk yet. Okay, you're not old enough. The credit store ain't strong enough. Your mom would tell you that. You're not old enough. Them kids over there too big for you to play with. You stay with these little kids. You might have to stay over here. Okay, but you learn a little things. You get a little stronger. We get them credit score stronger, and I'll let you loose over there. I know you know how to handle yourself over there. None of them will knock you in your head, because that one little boy bad. You know how your mama say, that boy hit. Okay, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to go over in their yard. Stay where you are. You get your credit score stronger. Now you can go and play over there in their yard. You're ready. But sometimes I might tell you, not this month. Let's take this and let's do this. And now you might can go over in that yard. You know, we just move one or two things. And hey, you do got 3 credit reports. You know, you got Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You clear some things off. There are some banks that exclusively pull from this one and exclusively pull from that one. They never go in the Equifax yard, ever. They only play in these 2 yards. And we can look at things regionally. And so if you clear this one off, because a lot of stuff is not going to be linear. So if you got a charge off, please, let's live in the realm of reality. It might not come across the board. A lot of people are blown away. It came off of Equifax, but it's still on the others. How many rounds are you in? 2? You need to thank God for Jesus that done fell off. You only send out 2 letters. Child, come on. Let's then work it off. If we get this one cleared up, we can go to the yards that they play with. Some, like, let's say Equifax cleared up. Okay. Guess what? Truist only play in Equifax yard. So now let's send you over there. Go and play with them. Open an account up. Sit down with a bank manager. And that's where you're going to go for right now. We're going to see what happened over here. And then I might continue that way. Bank of America, go on. You can play with them. They pull from TransUnion. That's where you need to be. And you build like that. But you got to start. And that's why I said, make the right connections. That's where I start off. That's where folks that geeked out like me, that learn all this stuff, hey, I stay on top of who pulled from there, who pulled from there. You might not could do that. That might not be your place. That might not, but you know enough. Long as you know enough where you know enough that for yourself, hold on now. Now I know one thing. I have learned Chase got a 524 rule. And this person ain't talking right. They saying I could be over there. So I could be denied. I know I done had, I'm building credit, and I know I just got a couple. I went on a spree and I got more than 5 credit cards. I ain't got no business going to Chase right now until this credit card age out. They ain't talking right. So at least you'll have enough knowledge and enough understanding to know that person don't know what the heck they talking about. So that's where you are. You don't have to know all the nuances and maybe not all the changes of rules. You got life is life. I do that. But you know enough to know when somebody telling you a lie, that person lying in your face. That person lying up in your face. Okay. You know that much. I know you're lying. Okay. I don't know a lot. I know you're lying. And so I'll land that with this story. Y'all know I'm a landlord. A lot of men, single, they didn't know I knew stuff. And I play stupid. Like I don't. But I had a situation with my, I had a steam boiler. No, it was actually hot water system boiler. Y'all know with radiators, with them radiators, the old ones that get hot, you touch it hot, you burn when the kid. So those were in the house. And so I had a leak. I knew it was water. It's a leak in the line. And that is like a closed loop system. A leak, if I'm seeing water coming in, it's a leak here, sir. It's a hole in this, like almost like a straw. You got a little hole in there. It's a hole in the line. And the man going to tell me, oh, we got to drain it. and fix your, it's an expansion tank. Something I know had nothing to do with a hole in the line. So he was like, we got to take that down. So we got three options. Number one, we drain the system, fix your expansion tank, fill the line back up with water, and then find out. Or two, we just fix the expansion tank, drain the system, put the tank on it. Or, and those are your two options. I said, I'll take option three. You're going to get the hell up out of my house because I ain't stupid. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So you got to know when to give the person option three, like I gave him. And he was shocked to death because I said, come on, are you telling me you going to take water up out the line when that thing got to be under pressure for you to find a leak? He messed around and found out. Okay. I'll be up in my own stuff. You're going to take option three. So I have to tell y'all that story because when I tell y'all, tell them to take option three and you get on out of here, that's your option three. You need to know enough to tell folks to take option three. Okay. So you got to make right relationships, glean enough information, at least enough to know when somebody is lying to you. And if you need to, give them option three, like I did. I ain't taking one nor the two. I'm creating the option three. Get it up out of here because you just lied in my face. So that's where y'all might need to be. Just enough to give a person option three. That's a life lesson. So glean enough information and make sure you make the right connections. Okay, so that's how y'all gonna fix your issues. Get down to it, get enough information, and we'll land there and we'll ask questions. You ready? Come back, Diamond.
Yes, yes. So if anyone has questions, please put them in the chat. I'm going to go to a few that we had a little bit earlier just to make sure that we can get them. Well, we do actually have a few testimonies as well, and we'll get to those.
Thank y'all for the testimonies.
Yes. So leave your questions. There wasn't many questions. So we have Miss Wilson who said,
that's Miss Wilson. Thank you, Miss Wilson. I already started off, Miss Wilson, talking about your story. Thank you, Miss Wilson.
Miss Wilson said that her points jumped literally. She gained 20 points plus on all of my reports. I only been with the elite credit system for about 2 months now, and my score is now 724.
Thank you, Miss Wilson. And she actually did. She tapped in, and sometimes y'all just showing up. And we talked about that today in the group. I was asking everybody how to keep people motivated because, at the beginning of the year, everybody is ready to go. Life is life. And I understand you get knocked down, stuff happen, but we want to be a place where you can at least come back in to bring you on focus, because sometimes you get just thrown off. I have did that, but sometimes going back to that routine. Okay, just going back to that routine, like Diamond to share. I was working out, then something happened. You go out of town, you're eating, get off, you're not able to prepare your food, and sometimes you be like, man, it's hard to get on. But sometimes going just back to what you're doing, just okay, at least let me just get up. Even if I eat off today, let me go and touch the gym door. Mike would always say that to me. He was like, listen, even if it's off, just drive to the gym, touch the door, get back in the car. Sometimes it's just getting back into the habit of showing up. So what we have for y'all, show up to a Zoom meeting. If you got off, we're there, or I'm there, and Kanisha is there. She helps. One of us is there, and I'm going to mostly be there every Saturday. So pull up. There you go.
And if you guys want the link to the elite credit system, if you are over on YouTube, it is in the pinned comment. So you can go up and see the pinned comment, and it's right there. We had another testimony from Ty, who said that she's up 69 points.
And 30 days. You better go ahead, Ty.
And 124 points up on Equifax. since starting the 30-day challenge that we started in January. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Ty.
And
Congratulations.
oops, sorry guys. And Dorothy said, as a former lender, I had excellent credit on my life until the breach, and my credit was breached twice. So after 3 credit repair companies, I turned to Mrs. Beckley.
Thank you, Dorothy. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And everybody for all the great testimonials. Thank you so much because it helped other people to know that the information worked. And the whole thing is, you don't have to, we don't want you to be here forever. We want you to really grow and tell somebody else. If it worked for you, don't, like we said, don't let folks get it out the mud.
Yeah.
Don't let people get it out the mud. Share the information. Sometimes you don't want to share it until you're successful. Nobody's telling you, because I know sometimes we're private. We don't want everybody to, be in your business. And I know a lot of people, but sometimes you want to share afterwards. But make sure you're not letting other people getting it out the mud. Let's just make that a mantra. Don't let her get it out the mud. Don't let him get it out the mud. Wash it off. Don't let it be muddy. Let them come up too. Okay. So we encourage y'all, if this is helpful to y'all, share this information out to other people that you know. If you want to share it on your social media, I know sometimes that'd be annoying if you got all kind of stuff, but if the information, even the free information, is good, it'll get them in the right mindset. So thank you.
Now I do see we have a few questions. So Champ Beats said, if I come this Saturday, can you help me even though I missed the beginning of the year, the credit?
Yeah, we here all year. We open, we don't shut down. We're not seasonal. Okay. We're not like the ice cream shop down on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. We here all the time. We're open for business.
Just to clarify for anyone that was confused, the credit kickoff is just something that we do annually where we come on live on YouTube. And the Elite Credit System has free group coaching all year round, every Saturday, 2 p.m. EST. But you have to be an Elite member in order to join. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get it.
Just for another note, we're not just talking about just removing just items off your credit, y'all, and just like, I got good credit, and but what we're saying about the connection now, once you have good credit, what you want to do to improve your life. So it's beyond, and I think, and I did glean that from Corey P. Smith. He was on here. What good is it for you to die with an 850 credit score? Your kids cannot inherit your 850 credit score. So don't just go around. How are you putting that to work for you? So now once your credit get good, you need, and we talked about this today, do y'all know to get credit, it should not be when you need it. Okay. Please understand that. You want to get credit and access to lending even before you need it. Banks do not want to lend to you when you are desperate and in need. They're gonna run. So please, y'all don't go down there telling them, I got a business. If I don't get this loan, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know what they're going to say? Oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. They're not. And send you that letter. You don't ever think that banks want to give you money when you need it. So once you get done cleaning up your credit, y'all do know it's other steps than that to improve your life. So a lot of people just stay because they're trying to improve their life in the journey for their next step. Okay, so that's what we're saying. Mike, you muted yourself.
We have a question from Facebook that is asking, if you are in the Elite Credit System, will that give you a customized plan? So I just want to quickly say that I did drop, there is a tutorial video, a quick one that you can watch that will show you how to create your disputes and will also show you how the Elite Credit System works. But Got it.
And what even Miss Wilson to tell you what we're doing when you come in, I go through your stuff and you have your customized steps. So this give an opportunity that we can have dialogue, you guys. If you are in an elite credit system and you haven't came, so we can go through your stuff and you can give me some feedback so you can have a plan individually for yourself, because what your cousin did or what Miss Wilson had going on might not be what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So we need to get down to what you got going on, and then you'll have clarity. Okay. So pull up, y'all, to one meeting. And if you don't want to see this face anymore, you good to go. You could shoot us an email, but at least you starting off right. Okay. And if y'all sign up, look, put it in your mind. I know y'all grown. Make it mandatory to at least come to the first meeting before you start disputing, because when you send that in the mail, now we got to wait to the next round. Just come see me just one time. That's it. And then if you run to another hiccup, you can come back again. All right. So there you go.
Yes, and I believe we had one more question about freezing, but after
Okay.
freeze after you're done with all of the cleaning on your credit score, on your credit report, or while.
No, we don't freeze. You don't have to necessarily freeze. You can freeze. My stuff is frozen and I still get credit, but you don't have to necessarily freeze, and it don't really stop you from applying for credit. It really doesn't. Honestly, depending on who you are and where you are, if y'all watch my stuff, it's times I tell y'all to let them folk know where you is. Okay. You go up there and say, opt in, not opt out. Because, and I'll give y'all this tip. Like we said, disputing is not the only thing. A lot of times, and I can't throw everybody under the bus. Like, some credit repair companies, remember what they are. They're trying to get rid of negative items only. That's not going to necessarily increase your credit score. You want to add things on. So while you're disputing, you can start seeing your score go up by putting on positive lines of credit. Now, they might not do that part for you. A lot of them, their job, what you're paying them for, is to dispute, just to remove negative items. But we have seen people's scores go down because what they want you to do to stop applying. Don't apply for nothing, which is to a core true, because what they're saying is we're trying to get negative things off. What I do is give you intelligent things where you can actually dispute, but here, let you go over here. You got a 620 credit score. We're not going to American Express. Apple will be your best option, or this company where Apple, you can see if you're approved before they give you a line, so you don't be getting all these negative hard inquiries. So that's why they're telling you, because then they don't want to keep disputing stuff. They're not really in charge, or that's not their job to help you build. That's not their job necessarily to get your credit score to increase. You're asking them to remove negative items. So people will always tell you disputing and building is two separate things, but you could do these things at the same time. Have anybody ever given you that option? So you cut time in half. So while I'm disputing, I can see my score go up. And this is what keep you motivated. You know what I'm saying? You want to see progress. I'm paying for something. I don't want to see my stuff in the mud. That's where we're going back to. They want you to get it out the mud. You don't want to get it out the mud. Okay. You want to do the two at the same time. But they're not really lying in a sense of not, because they know you don't know what you're doing. This is why you in the situation you in. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? This is where you at. You don't know what you're doing. But they're not doing that part for you. They're not set up to do that. So that is, it's no shade, no tea necessarily sometimes. Because, hey, the longer I'm disputing, the longer you're going to pay me monthly. That is to a certain extent. But I can't pull up Chick-fil-A and ask them for a mean hamburger. That ain't their business model. Neither is a lot of credit repair companies. That is just not their business model. Your best, but for your best interest, it is for you to do both things at the same time, because you're going to reach your goal quicker. Almost like with Miss Wilson and other people will say, see, the way sometimes when you're going to get that faster result, you're doing two things at one time. As they say, can you chew gum and walk at the same time? You're not just waiting. Almost like with weight loss. A lot of people, just lose weight and turn into a slimmer version of themselves when they were fat. So they'll call it slim fat. But you can build muscle or at least maintain what you got without it being broken down. Why slimming down at the same time? That's called composition, changing your body composition. You want to maintain the muscle and lose just the fat. You could do it that way. Then losing the fat and some of the muscle, because you're going on an extreme diet, cutting back, and you start losing muscle. And then you say, once I'll start lifting weights. Now that you're doubling your time, that's my method. We're going to do both at the same time. Okay, let's do it both at the same time while we're doing. And then you won't get tired. Okay, so that's how, and it's not nobody's fault sometimes. I'm not, and that's why I try not to get on because the understanding life, everything is a business. Everything is about business. Your family life is a business. Your marriage is a business. Okay, marriage is a business partnership. Should I be looking at this person for love or for partnership? Marriages from the beginning of time was never about love. Ever. Okay? It was about Adam and Eve. I'm a Christian. They didn't even know each other. Okay? It couldn't be about love. It wasn't about love. It's about building family. Family is a business. And because I love somebody, don't mean I need to be married to them. Okay? It is what it is. All right? I'm just saying. That's why Diamond, when she come back, we were talking about that. I was talking something. I know I'm going down another lane, but people just dating for fun. This is how people getting babies and they bitter. Oh, she this and this. Because you supposed to, as people say, date with intention. It was this young man talk about, oh, well, we went out a couple of times to figure out we ain't get along. No, baby, all it takes is a phone call to know we ain't connecting. We ain't even having drinks. Okay. We ain't going out for drinks and an hors d'oeuvre. All it takes is a conversation. Okay. You got to know yourself and know what you want. So here is my objective. And I want y'all to do the same thing. Some of you guys, we did it in the group, talk about, well, what is your goal? Because some of y'all, it's like we have one person, they're closing on a house in 3 months. That person objective and strategy is totally different than some of the other people that just say, hey, I want to just be ready, when I'm making a move. So they got more time. Same thing with you, dating and just anything in life. Some things you need in the immediate future. So maybe your best option is not going to do something I got all the time in the world way, or I can just let this thing roll where it is. Hey, I got to move by next month. There's some people that sit with me like, listen, I need a car. My car is on its last leg. Hey, people got to get to work to keep it going. So we're going to look at your objective a little different than the person who I want to get a house next year. It's a little different. So same thing with dating, same thing about everything in life. Look at it from a business, your objective, your goal, and then we got to go long term, because there's some things that we're going to talk about, like that car situation. Is it the best move? No, no, but if I got to get to work, that's the move for me to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the best move, but let's talk about it. Sherry, I need it by next month. It was somebody else talking, and so here's your plan, because we can get that score to go up, and for what you're trying to qualify for, this is going to make a world of difference within 45 days. Is everything going to be done? No, that's just not. We're gonna see, by next month, because one of them might come clear, find the right lender. And for anybody looking for a car, please don't go over there and let them just be shotgunning your credit. That is not the wise things to do. Diamond, you could talk about that. Remember, they
Yep.
hit her credit. She know about that because she was and she didn't know. I cleaned that up for her. Not This was no time like recently. Now she know when she was
Yeah, this is
young,
years ago. Years ago.
years ago. But see, a lot of people don't know. They're just telling you, come down here, let's see what you do. And you don't know. You're thinking they pulling one time. 23 hard inquiries. And now your score is in the dumps. You might have not really wanted that deal. And now you can't even go to the next dealership. So let's talk about it, and we'll find you a pre-approval option. So now when you sit down in that seat, you come in with your paperwork. We'll get you two or three. Now, don't you pull nothing on me. No, and I'm telling you, you got to tell them, because I had to do that with my car. Open up my app. This my credit score. What can you do with it? Can you sign it? Not a dang on thing. Here's my approvals. But it did work out. I did let them pull it once, and they did give me a better financing deal. So that's where we are, y'all. Anybody else?
There was another question about judgments.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so court order from Synchrony Bank for 1,300. Not sure to go. Is it late or to settle? Is it too
No,
late
he's
to
saying
settle with
court.
them?
That means they sued you. Oh, no, that's Karen. Karen, they sued you. Now here's the thing. If it did, I'm going to give you the two options. If it wasn't heard with a judge, this is just a default judgment because you didn't show up. Talk to an attorney in your state, okay? Because you could possibly overturn that, and then when you overturn it, then you have a way you might can shake it all together, okay? So you can countersue if that balance. That's how I would do countersue. If they saying 1,300, I'm suing y'all for 1,800, and I'm naming, president, vice president, and some of the staff I talked to along with the company. That's going to give you a little more leverage. And the balances is not correct, defamation of character. That would be your best option, but you need to talk to an attorney how to overturn that default judgment. If you were there and things wasn't gone right, I still would talk to an attorney because you could appeal it. It might be possible, but if that's not it, because it's a judgment and it was heard, then I might settle. Okay. Hopefully that answer all three.
As far as I could see, I believe that, or my other question, would it be easier building credit by assuming a credit card balance with a new credit card?
Would it be, is that account still open is the question. If James, you can tell me that. My question, would it be easier to build credit by assuming a new credit card balance? You mean taking on somebody else's debt? I'm not quite sure what if you can give me a little clarity on what the assuming somebody else's debt. I hope not like buying what they say zombie debt, like something like that.
Credit card was closed, or
Oh, the credit card was closed. Now, okay, in that case, just to answer or something, if the credit card was recently closed and it have a long credit history, let's say 10 years, I might see if I can reinstate that if it's possible. If it's not possible, to reinstate, um, then I would just dispute it and then move on and build with another credit card. All right. So hopefully that'll help.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. Okay, that I believe those were all the questions. If we missed your question, you can, first of all, we do have a Facebook group that you can join, and I'll leave the link to that here in the comment section. But also you could email us at howtoboostyourcredit@gmail.com, and I'm typing that right now for all of
One last thing. I'm just gleaning. Ladies, do y'all want a channel? I was asking.
you.
Do y'all want a channel where we just talk about life things? Let me know, ladies, in the comment section. Y'all might, I should have did this at the beginning because people that watch later on, but let me know y'all feedback if y'all want to talk about life, relationship, marriage, yada yada yada. Being single, I've been there. Oh Lord, was I single? Yeah, I was single, but I'm married now. Different life. Yeah, so it's a difference in everything, being a single parent, not being a single parent, so maybe we could talk about it. If y'all want to talk about weight loss, life, family, love, financial, we'll mix it up. Maybe Diamond will even come through sometime, but Diamond be busy. She like, don't count me in that one.
Well, I wanted to clarify the question we were asking was, should we start a whole new channel, or is that something that you guys would?
No, that's a good one. Say it again, Diamond.
Yeah. So should we start a whole new channel where we're talking about more lifestyle things, or would you still watch those videos over on the current channel? So we just kind of wanted to know, trying to figure out what's the best way to introduce more of ourselves into our content. Should we do a whole new channel? Would you watch it if it was on the regular channel? And that was the question that we really wanted to know.
Yeah, because I do know a lot of people. So the way I was thinking about it, this is about credit most of the times. And some people just, I need my credit information. And it's almost like my sermons. I don't like to go to church and y'all give me too much of your life. It has to line up with what you talking about. I don't want to hear a whole sermon telling me about your life experience. Let's go to scripture, and just if it lines up with this where I'm trying to get, fine by me. But so I try to respect that. You know what I'm saying? So to let you know, if you're in a church organization, the singles meeting is the singles meeting. The marriage meeting is the marriage meeting. You're going over there. You know what I'm saying? So you separate the two. But sometimes it's just convenient if we can handle all of this in Sunday service. So please let me know what is best or what's more tolerable for y'all goals. So to let us know, and we can talk about things, because sometimes, life stories does help things resonate a little more. So I don't want to have to do all of one. All right.
Yes. So, thank you all. Yeah, that was the question. So thank you guys so much. I did leave the Facebook group where it was for the credit kickoff, but we are still continuing it since you guys asked for that, and also our email in case you need to reach us directly.
And Miss Spencer said, do you offer one-time free consultant to review our credit file? Well, the Zoom meeting, if you join the Elite Credit System, that's where I do that. If you want to do a one-on-one, I just want to let you know, because I got things to do. I got to, my time is money and money is time. So if you do need help and it's something more personal, you can email me and then I can go ahead. But I always have to, be transparent, because this is where we go for mindset. I will tell y'all, I do not invest more in your life than you invest in yours, because here's the thing. And I just want you to understand that whatever you're serious about, you will invest. So me sitting down with you, and you can then from that information go and get a $2,000 credit card, $10,000. I understand my value. So it's the same thing in a relationship. I'm not going to be with a man and I know who I am and I value. You would not expect that of yourself. So I would never want anybody to miss a good opportunity in life, because life is about value proposition. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people, and it's just no shade. You don't have to beg them to buy a Birkin bag or a Louis Vuitton bag. They're investing in that because it's about attaching to them. But if you sit down with me and my information can actually put you in a better financial situation, unfortunately, I got to respect myself. You see what I'm saying? And know my own value. And I have to stand on that, because if I don't, and this is just for everybody, I give free information on the channel. And so you can, and that's why we do the free videos. So you can align that with yourself. I understand, I've been there. I ain't have the money to. So my teacher used to tell us it costs you nothing to pay attention. So all you have to do is just go through there and get that stuff, and you can kind of maneuver it yourself. It just costs you more time. That's what it is. But a lot of people value their own time, and I would never let nobody, devalue my time, because I can just help. I can make content in that thing, and a video that can help multiple people. So I'm a business at the end of the day, and I got to handle things like business. So that's just for anybody else. It's not that if it's a charity thing, I do a lot of charity things that y'all can connect to, or if people do, that's not a problem. If it's connected to a church or something, that's different. I'm helping out a group, but my time and my information, individual one-on-one, it's just not the best use of time. So that's just everybody, just so you know. But if people have things, people have a health situation, shoot me an email and I can do it. And we can't really go over your situation if y'all not plugged into the system. That I can't really give the best advice. I can only give you from what you can tell me. And sometimes people, if I can't see it, they don't even know what their situation is. They, you know what I'm saying? They're giving me, you know what I'm saying? They're giving me from their knowledge of what they can tell me. And if you're not plugged into my elite credit system, I can't log it in. But if you sign up to elite credit system and you need to do a one-on-one part of that, then you can have access for that. But the fee have dropped because the technology is so, it makes it so much easier instead of me going through people's stuff individually. So that's just where I wanted to let everybody know. But just to understand on that for everybody, just sometime, and I want y'all to review that for your own life. You must put your time to your best, what's best, optimal. And sometimes it's better to even for the good of society. And I'll give, you know what, this is what where I say I always want to give people nuggets and understanding on thinking about things certain ways. People will say, let's say wealthy people, they're greedy. They only think about themselves. In order for you to run a big business and to make money, you cannot think about yourself. You must think about a service and a good that benefits all. A lot of time, the most selfish people can be somebody working on a job, because a lot of times you might just only think about yourself and your situation. Is that true for everybody? No. But I have met way more selfish people working on a job because all they're worried about their situation, their family, and what I got going on. So what I'm saying, the greater good is considered doing good for others. So, or what's going to benefit others. Some people work in a nonprofit and all they do is think about what is good for others. And it is better use to their time for them to be at that nonprofit helping multiple people than their cousin. that's in need all the time. You see what I mean? Because that is not the best use of your time. That cousin, we all might have had one. None of my cousins, none of y'all, that ain't y'all. Don't get mad at me, family. But I'm just saying, we all had that cousin that do a lot of draining. And if you would have gave the help to other people, multiple people you gave to them, they could have had a much more productive life, and they could have gave back to society as a whole. So you got to always think about the best use of your time. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing that for your job, they're paying you hourly for your time, but even for your thing, whatever you're doing for that job, this is for everybody. Whatever you're doing for that job, you're being paid because it has value. But if you can spread that out to help multiple people or businesses, that can make you wealthy. So I'm going to leave that with that nugget because I want y'all to change your perspective. You want to get away from exchanging time for money. Okay, that is a principle. It's very rare that you're going to meet a wealthy person that constantly exchange time for money. They either invest with their money and they try to avoid exchanging time for money. So it's not to do that. It's ways to use that time to figure out how you can do things to help multiple people, and then that actually create more wealth for you. So I just want y'all to hold that principle always, because I used to get people that really would get upset when you say, oh, I don't really do consultations, I can't, oh, I could pay you this, and they don't understand that time for money principle. You don't want to really stay there, because that can keep you actually broke generationally, because you don't want to, as Dame Dash, hustle for your first name. You want to hustle for your last name. And so you want to use your gifts and talents to create systems. And I'll drop that. That's what the virtuous woman was about. People talk about that. Her charity, oh, she submitted to her husband. That woman was a businesswoman. It said that she used her hands to make wool and silk. And then she hired maidens. She had a at-home small business. She used her skill, and then she hired maidens in the process. So from that, she learned how to leverage that to now employ multiple people. Then it said with her profits, she actually became a real estate investor, and she searched out and bought a vineyard. Catch it. Who family own a vineyard that is broke? Okay. Who family? So she went from me just working at my little small independent business to hiring people to now I'm going to flip this to generational wealth, because I know my talent died with me. Boom. My talent died with who? Sherry. So if you see how I move, this is why I put out books. This is why I put out assets, because when I go, this is why I put out content. This can be here. So my family, because YouTube, my image, my likeness is a business. And so you want to build a brand. So it's not just me working with people one-on-one. And thank God for everybody I work with one-on-one. That's where I started, me helping them succeed. Iron sharpens iron. But now I have did enough one-on-one that now I can give the right steps to help multiple of people. And it's not to say I'm so great. It's y'all can do the same thing. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can do the same thing, and you can be a blessing to me, because this is just what I do. A lot of y'all are educators. You know about health. You in the health field. You in the beauty industry. So all I'm doing is trying to get you just to think about, to make a paradigm shift and just take in what I'm saying. Because sometimes you don't know what people don't share their experience with you. How can I take, instead of for me working for that job, how can I make this skill worked for me? How can I now bring in my family? When I did this, started this, I told Diamond immediately, I need you to eliminate your job and don't work for that man, work with me. So I'm not telling you you work for me, you work with me. And this is where we start to build. So that's what I'm saying. Try to is everything perfect? If everything that, and somebody said, I prefer my client. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And even like she said, she refer her clients to this page. And I thank Ty for that. And even like she have clients, and I'm not saying sometimes you want to do big business. That might not be what you want to do. Sometimes being small is profitable depending on what you do. But you just, if you can automate some of it and to expand it, that's what you want to do. And that's what I try to work on. I do work with people one-on-one, but I try my best. How can I do everything in a group setting, create content, create different systems? So I need to, have to find ways to retire too, and even investing in stocks, but to actually build something for yourself where if I'm gone, like the elite credit system, at least my kids have something that I'm not here no more. They're getting enough information. They can do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with y'all too. Like I said, that Proverbs 31, like Ty said, and the 10th, starting with the 10th chapter. That's what that woman did. She just didn't, I'm just going to do hair or I'm just going to make scarves for the rest of my life. She understood that if she don't expand, buy a field, when she passed away, that's a vineyard. She start to plant that. Her kids can take over that and her grandkids. So I just want y'all to think that, take that principle and think about that with your current career. How can you expand that? And while you improve your credit, how can your credit also expand that business or leave an inheritance for your family? Even if you don't want to do the whole business thing, at least buy a home. And most wealth is passed in the United States through real estate, home ownership, but I'm the person, I don't want to be morbid. I don't want my kids to, hit it big when I die. You know, let's get it while I'm living. Let us all get it while I'm living. I just hate that principle when people think about that. I'll get it when I die. Y'all, I built all this, and when I'm dead, y'all can have it all. No, why don't we just all come on, work together, and let's all enjoy life while we're living. I ain't gotta be sad. Oh God, I'm getting all this stuff. I just figure out. So that's my point of view. Maybe y'all can it'll benefit somebody, state of mind. So I don't know, if it's as the old folks would say, spit, eat the meat, spit out the bone. If it's something else you don't like, but just, take it. So enjoy your night. Thank y'all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see y'all next week on Saturday. Be blessed. Bye-bye.